Let's just say it straight. Feeling tired? That's not weakness. Wanting to quit? That's human. But quitting? That's a choice. And only you get to decide if you're done or just getting started. Every time you move closer to something that matters, the reasons to stop show up. Loud, relentless. It's too early. It's too late. You're tired. You're too old. You're not ready. They show up dressed as logic, disguised as being realistic. But let's be real. They're just excuses in disguise, comfortable lies that sound responsible. When you're chasing something real, your goals, your dream, the life you know you're capable of, reasons to stop are everywhere. In your bank account, in your friend circle, in your feed, in the mirror. They don't leave. They grow louder the closer you get. That's not a warning sign. That's proof you're close. Start a business, no one cares. Post your progress, no one claps. Change your life, people laugh, skip the party. They talk, stay focused. They call you obsessed. This path isn't for everyone. It's not supposed to be easy. Easy doesn't teach. Easy doesn't prepare you. Easy doesn't make you unbreakable. There will always be reasons to stop, but you only need one reason to keep going. One moment that woke you up. One picture of the life you want. One promise you made to yourself. That reason, hold on to it. Burn it into your mind. When the excuses get loud, that's your anchor. Most people quit. That's the truth. They quit when it's hard, when it's boring, when the results don't show fast enough. Some never start at all, too afraid to fail, too afraid to look dumb, too worried about opinions. You don't have to be most people. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to be the smartest. You don't even need to be the best. You just need to keep showing up, especially when it's hard. That's the moment everything changes. When you want to quit, but you don't. When you say, no matter what, I'm showing up. You don't rise to your goals. You fall to your habits. If your habit is quitting when it gets hard, don't be shocked when you stay stuck. But if your habit is pushing through, showing up when it sucks, you've already separated yourself from the pack. Winning isn't about feeling good. It's about doing the work, especially when you don't feel like it. Yeah, there will always be reasons to stop. But what if today you didn't? You wake up tired, sore, discouraged. The scale won't move. The bills are piling. The inbox is full. Your motivation's gone. And quitting? Quitting feels like relief. That's the trap. Quitting feels good at first. Letting go of the pressure gives you that quick, warm hit of comfort. But it doesn't last. That comfort fades. And what you're left with is regret. Doubt. That voice in your head asking, what if I had just kept going? Most people settle for almost. Almost made it. Almost finished. Almost changed. But almost doesn't change your life. Almost is a ghost. Almost builds nothing. There's no strength in quitting before the breakthrough. No growth in walking away when it gets hard. Comfort doesn't make you stronger. Resistance does. Every rep when you're exhausted. Every no when it'd be easier to say yes. Every day you keep going, even when it feels like it doesn't matter. That's the work. That's the part no one wants to talk about. That's what makes the difference. People say it's not working. But what they really mean is, It's not working fast enough. But nothing worth having shows up fast. You don't plant a seed and dig it up the next day to check the roots. You water it, you wait, you trust. Same goes for your goals. You show up, you sweat, you struggle. And yeah, for a while, it feels like nothing's changing. Yes. Every time you resist the urge to quit, you're building something, not just progress. You're building grit, character, a foundation strong enough to carry the weight of your future. There will always be reasons to stop, but none of them outweigh the one reason to keep going. Because you said you would. You made a promise to yourself, to your future, to the person you're becoming. And that promise has to mean something, especially when no one else is watching. That's discipline. It's showing up when no one's clapping. No reward, no deadline. Just you, the work, and the silence. That's when it counts. Let others scroll. Let them quit. Let them talk. You keep building because you're not chasing quick wins. You're not here for validation. You're here for transformation. And real transformation, it takes time. It takes pain. It takes choosing progress over comfort. Again and again. You don't need easy. You need consistent. And sometimes that means dragging yourself through the mud of your own excuses just to get it done. Nobody remembers the person who almost made it. They remember the one who kept showing up when no one else did. That's the story that matters. Ever notice how the reasons to stop always sound reasonable? I'm tired. I'll do it tomorrow. I've done enough. It's not working. Maybe it's just not for me. Sounds fair, right? That's the trap. Those excuses sound like they're protecting you, but really, they're stealing from you. Quietly, slowly, without a fight. Here's the truth. The hardest part isn't the workout. It isn't the business. It isn't the grind. The hardest part is ignoring your excuses. That's the real fight. Not against other people, but against that voice in your head that says, let's just chill. You don't need to conquer the world. You need to conquer your comfort zone. Most people lose that fight, not because they're weak, but because they never even fought. They believe the excuses, let them in, let them stay. But you, if you want this, really want this, you've got to challenge every excuse that whispers. Ask yourself, is this real? Or just resistance in disguise? Here's something simple. If you only show up when it's easy, you'll never earn anything that's hard to reach. And everything worthwhile, it's hard to reach. That's why this moment matters. Because you're gonna hit that wall. You'll feel stuck. You'll be doing everything right and still, nothing moves. And when that happens, your whole body will scream, stop! That's the moment that defines you. That's the test. Can you keep going with no applause, no feedback, nothing but silence? Because success lives on the other side of silence. Real growth happens when no one's clapping. Not your friends, not social media, not even your own thoughts. You can keep going when it's quiet, dark, cold, boring. You become unstoppable. That's what separates winners. Not talent, not luck, not opportunity, just the willingness to keep moving when everything says stop. That's how people succeed. They push once more. They show up one more day. They tune. The silence becomes celebration. The sacrifice becomes strength. But only if you keep going. There will always be reasons to stop. They'll be there tomorrow. They'll be there next week. But the reason to keep going, that's yours. And if you keep choosing it over and over, the reasons to quit start losing their power. Because eventually, you stop being someone who's chasing results, and you become someone who doesn't stop. At first, discipline is just an action, a workout, wake-up time, a choice. You force it. It's effort. It's exhausting. But if you stay with it, something shifts. Discipline stops being what you do. It becomes who you are. You're no longer trying to stay consistent. You are consistent. You don't need perfect conditions. You don't need support. You don't wait on motivation. You move anyway. And that shift, that's everything. Most people never reach it. They get a little tired, a little bored, and they think that means stop. But that's the threshold. That's the point where the real you starts to emerge. Because let's be real, what's actually stopping you? It's not your ability, it's not time, it's not money. It's the story you keep telling yourself about why you can't. I've always been like this. I don't have what it takes. It's not the right time. You have to break the old narrative. Rewrite it, not with words, but with action. Every choice you make is a vote for the person you're becoming. Each time you do the work, instead of making an excuse, you cast a vote for the stronger version of yourself. That version doesn't need motivation or attention. They move in silence and get things done because they need to be done, not for applause. That's how you win. Not by being loud, not by waiting for the perfect plan, but by stacking quiet win after quiet win in the dark, in the grind, when no one is watching. And yeah, you'll slip. You'll miss a workout, mess up, sleep in. That's not the point. The point is whether you get back up faster. Discipline isn't about perfection. It's about persistence. You don't need to be flawless for 100 days straight. You just need to win more often than you lose. And to do that, you need to remember, there will always be reasons to quit, but you don't have to listen. Instead, remind yourself why you started. What are you building? Who are you building it for? What future are you stepping into? If it really matters, then deep down, you already know the answer. Don't stop. You're not chasing a quick win. You're building a life. And anything worth building takes time, effort, and a kind of unreasonable patience most people don't have. You're creating something no one else can see yet, so they'll call it obsession, unrealistic, too much, let them. Because when it finally happens, those same people will call it luck. What they won't see are the early mornings, the lonely nights, the sacrifices no one applauded. You gave up comfort and ease. You chose the hard road, the one that actually leads somewhere. Now you're in the thick of it. This is where it gets tough, where the excitement fades and it's just work, repetition, showing up. But this is exactly where you grow. This is where you become the version of yourself who doesn't flinch at delays, doesn't chase praise, doesn't need outside approval. You're not just training your body, you're training your mind, your focus, your grit, your spirit. That's what it takes. If you want a strong life, goals aren't enough. You need grit. Discipline doesn't just help you succeed. It helps you stand back up when life knocks you down. And it will. Things will go wrong. People will disappoint you. Plans will fall apart. You'll feel like everything is slipping away. In those moments, the reasons to quit will scream louder than ever. They'll sound like facts, but they're not just fear disguised as logic. So hear this and let it sink in. You were not built to break. You weren't put here to settle or to live a life of mediocrity. You are capable of more, but only if you stay in the fight. Not just today, not just when it's easy, but every single day. And no, you won't always feel strong. That's okay. You don't need to feel strong. You need to act strong. Because real strength isn't a feeling. It's a decision. So when excuses come, and they will, stand your ground. When doubt creeps in, and it will, move anyway. When progress vanishes, and it will, trust the process. You don't owe anyone proof. But if you made yourself a promise, keep it. That's how you win. Not with magic, not with luck, not by waiting for a sign, but by refusing to quit when quitting feels like the easiest option. Because the moment you stop isn't when you... Not talent, not ambition, not big dreams. What's rare is endurance, the ability to keep going, not for days, not for weeks, for years, quietly, steadily, without a spotlight, without permission, without praise. That's the difference. Anyone can show up on day one, hyped and ready. Anyone can grind when it's fresh, when the coffee kicks in. But day 100, day 500, when it's raining, when you're broke, when you're tired, when there's no visible progress, that's when most people vanish. You want to build something real? Learn how to show up in the dark, when nobody's watching, when nobody's cheering, when it's just you and the work. That's when it counts. That's when you stop being someone who's just trying and start becoming someone committed to finishing. People ask, how do I stay motivated? That's the wrong question. The better one is, how do I stay consistent without motivation? Because motivation is a mood, discipline is a muscle. And if you train it, if you build it, it will carry you when everything else fails. But here's the truth. Building that kind of discipline is brutal. It means saying no when every part of you wants to say yes. It means early mornings, late nights, missed weekends, skipped parties. It means showing up tired, sore, burnt out, and doing it anyway. And yeah, it's going to feel like too much sometimes. You'll wonder, is this even worth it? And the answer, not today, not tomorrow. But one day, absolutely. One day, when the noise fades and the pieces finally click, when you look back at the road you crawled through, you'll get it. You'll understand why you didn't quit. And it won't just be about what you gained, the success, the money, the body, the freedom. It'll be about who you became, because that's what this is really about. Not the goal, not the trophy, not the finish line. It's about becoming the kind of person who doesn't give up, who learns how to keep going, who gets back, someone who doesn't need the world to understand their grind because they know what it means to them. So yeah, there will always be reasons to stop, but you only need one reason to keep going. And if that reason is real to you, if it means something deep, that's enough, even if the world doesn't get it, even if it hurts, especially if it hurts, because pain isn't always a signal to quit. Sometimes it's the sound of progress, sometimes it means you're close. So keep going, keep pushing, keep showing up. Let them rest, let them stop, let them doubt. You finish.